live.
Yeah, live and in living color. Yeah. You know, I want to remind you guys, first of all, welcome to Carfitable Talks. And we're going to have a really great guest today. And I want I want to remind you that you can go on YouTube and see us in all the shows that you might have missed. We've had some great shows out there. Hi, what is that? Tiaki M. Oh gosh, Harris. But hello, how are you doing? But I want to remind you guys that we're on YouTube, and we're also want to remind you that we have changed the time to Thursday, so that's something that we want to make sure everybody knows about. And welcome to Carfitable Talks. We're just excited to be here as usual, and we're glad that you're here with us as well. Well, let's see. I guess we've got some things to talk about. We really need, as many of you know, my husband is from Haiti, and so we really need to pray about Haiti right now, what's going on politically there. Honey, do you want to say anything about what's going on in Haiti?
Well, we just have to pray for the country. There's still a lot of political unrest. Of course, after the assassination of the president, and his wife is still
Sean is in critical condition. Hey there, girl.
Hi. So welcome.
We're talking about Haiti, so we'll just join him. You know, my husband's Haitian, and they've got all the unrest in Haiti. So Claude's trying to tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we just have to pray for the country. There's a lot of things that are going on right now. It's been like this for several years now. So, in fact, most of our mission work down there was on hold, trying to get things right. So to continue to pray for Haiti. Let's do that. But welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you. Hi, family. Hugs all around.
Yes.
Thank you.
Gorgeous.
Thank you. I added a little hair to the fro this time.
But
okay. Well, I mean, you're a stylist. And
yes.
That's what you do. So you
do what you do. You got to do what you do and do it well, girl. You do it well. You know what? I'm so happy to have you on today. And I was trying to figure out, well, how did all this happen? Well, it turns out I think your press and PR person asked and got a hold of my daughter, and I looked it up. Ernest Pierce said you remind him of Thelma Evans from Good Times. Good Times.
Well, Thelma is still bad, so I'll take it. She's still bad all these years. I will take it.
Yeah, that's right.
She is gorgeous.
Yes, she was. Yes, she was. Well, she is. But so I'm just intrigued about you because you're somebody I probably should have known. But I've heard your name going around, but I never could put it all together. And I would hear, oh, she can sing and all that, but I wasn't all clued in, so I'm so glad that your press person got with us. And so we're going to all learn more about you together. So thank you for being on. I wrote something. I always write something.
Right,
and this is a short one, but we have crossed each other's paths so many times, but never formally. Now she's doing it with her gospel music and gaining fans like Dorinda Clark Cole, John B. Key, Donald Lawrence, so many people. So I was like, I better catch up. Her notoriety has grown because of this incredible, phenomenal voice. We don't get voices like this every day, and you guys, you got to listen to her on her YouTube songs and go on her Instagram site because it's really incredible. Amen. But also what I like about you is you prove it's never too late to let your light shine. Yeah. So everyone, welcome my block recording artist. That's our friend Warren Campbell, all of them. My homegirl, the woman with 3 names, Lena Byrd Miles.
Thank you. Wow. Oh, gosh. That was beautiful, Miss Vicki. Thank you. Thank you for that. That was beautiful.
I'm like, and now I realize when we did our little pre-conversation that we have crossed paths a number of times. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit. It kind of made me cry and tearful in a way because, I mean, we have to start off with the Hawkins and Lawrence Matthews. So
Oh yeah,
tell
Lawrence.
us a little bit how you got together with all of them, because Edwin was a dear friend of ours, and Lawrence Matthews, of course, was one of the gospel centric artists, and one of the smoothest, greatest singers ever. And I wish we had gotten more from him. So, but tell us about that.
Well, so what's even funnier is that Lawrence's older brother, Iris, who passed away years ago, probably the early 80s, he was married to my dad's sister. My dad has he has a set of twin sisters, Jackie and Maxine.
What?
So growing up, I just made the Matthews family my family, even though technically Iris was my uncle, but I named Lawrence my uncle too. And then his sister Debbie, and even when we were little, I knew that they had songs on the radio, and so I'd be like, "Y'all know that Lawrence Matthews song?" And of course, kids would be like, "Who? What you talking about?" Because in the church world, we think everybody is a celebrity. That if you're on the radio, that just makes you world renowned, and we don't know that everybody doesn't listen to gospel music. So,
well, that's why I signed Kirk Franklin, because we wanted to have some music that everybody would be listening to. So we worked really hard on that. But I mean, Edwin Hawkins is just, I don't know. I start crying just think about it. He's one of the greatest. He's the GOAT.
Yeah.
Oh, Happy Day is one of the things that took gospel music and really crossed it over. So tell us about, how did you end up with all these people besides the
family connection?
Good old Uncle Lawrence. Let's fast forward from childhood and just passing, and him seeing me sing at different things. He reached out to me and asked me to be a part of his recording that was ending. I want to say it happened in 2009 or something like that, or a little bit before. Well, at least the recording happened, but we started rehearsals, of course, some months before that. So fast forward to the recording night. Edwin and Bishop Walter Hawkins attend the recording. And I want to say that my song was probably the last song, because Bishop was sick at that time, but they didn't stay for it. The recording was broken up in like two halves or whatever, two segments. So the first half, I was like the last song. So they stayed till the end of my, song, and then they got up and left. That was a Saturday night. That Monday, I got a call from Nona Brown, one of the other people singing in the same.
I know Nona. She's great.
So I'm braiding hair. Nona calls and says, "You never guess who wants to speak with you." And I'm like, "Okay, tell me, run it by me." So she's like, "Edwin Hawkins wants to talk to you." And I just dropped my braid like, what? Even my client, she was like, "Is everything okay?" And so she's a good friend of mine too. I used to braid her hair every month. So I'm like, my friend just called me and said Edwin Hawkins wants to talk to me. So she's screaming. We just like in her house, just like, what? Oh my God. So Nona was like, hello, is it okay to give him your number? So I'm like, yeah, have him call me. So he calls and he's like, first of all, let me just say how beautiful you were at the recording. And we always joke now because I had my hair in a finger wave ponytail. So I said, even my husband was like, you and Edwin had similar hairstyles.
Edwin kept that hair laid.
Yes, every time. Every time.
So East Coast laid. That was.
You don't know.
Yeah. Well, that was the first thing he said. He complimented me on my hair and presentation. He was like, I loved how you were dressed, and oh my gosh, he said, then you open your mouth and sang, and you just blew me away. And if you're interested, I would love for you to come be a part of my next phase of the new Edwin Hawkins Singers. And I was like, what? Are you serious? And he was like, we'll be doing this thing in Boston, the Boston Pops. He was just letting me know what was lined up. And he was like, I would love just to have you travel with us and be on board. And I was just like, are you serious, God? Like, I'm just braiding hair and Edwin Hawkins calls me. That's really like, my journey is so crazy with the way God connects certain dots for things for me. My stories are always crazy, but that's how it happened.
I think it's so. One of the reasons I think it's important to have you on is because some people think, oh, even though you've been singing, of course, we've got to talk about you and your sisters, but that you've been at it quite a while, and you're just starting to blow up now, like really in the last few years, and I want people to see your journey and how you haven't given up and you've just kept it all together. So, but this was, Clyde and I find this all the time. You were singing with perfect pitch at 4 years of age. 3 years or 4 years? How long?
Yeah, I want to say it probably, well, my first, I don't know if you guys remember the artist DeLeon's Kitty record. You know her kid, she had a child record too. So
That's right.
because a lot of people know her later stuff, but we like,
no, I know it from the very beginning. As a matter of fact, I worked some of her records when James Ballard was there. I worked her first records. I'm so old. I've worked everybody's records pretty much.
It makes sense then. But well, so she was my first church solo. Her song, "I'm a kid's kid, I'm a heir to the throne." That was, and then our kids choir would sing, gonna move on up mountain. All the I can do all things through Christ, who strengthens me. I led that. I wasn't as happy and jubilant about it because my mom would make us sing it, so it was more like, I can do all things through Christ.
That was my song.
It was hard to probably convince people, but she was my introduction to being, the kitty psalmist. I would sing her stuff, and then
that's amazing.
Yeah, the way, and then from there, like my preschool teacher found out I could sing, and she had me sing in my preschool graduation. I said, "Reach out and touch somebody's hand."
Right.
In preschool, so that was helping me build, get rid of like my stage fright as a kid, and because everybody got their little cameras and they just taking pictures, and everybody want to pinch your cheeks, and so that really helped build that part of getting at least over the performing part, because you would be, as a kid, you scared, and I'm gonna tell my mom a lot of times, like, yeah, I want to do it, and then we get there and I'll be like, I can't do it all. And then she'd be like, you better get in there.
Right. You better do it.
Yeah, because we done told these people you would do it. So yeah, that's as early as my journey started, as singing at my granddad's church, and then doing all these other, my granddad even tells me now, he said, people used to come to me and say, can little Lena come sing at my Usher annual day, or at my that, those 3:00 services, those.
But that's the stuff that builds us, especially for African Americans. It's the church and all that. I always call it the conservatory of music for us. That's where we learn to, and even Reverend James Cleveland used to say, come on and sing till the singers get here. So it's like you for me it was oration, and at church I had to speak or do a poem or something like that. But that's where a lot of us learn to get all that. Somebody saying, come on, Usher's anniversary. That's
yeah, all kind of programs, but you get your feet wet, as they say. You get your practice in, and all of that. You getting all of the kinks out, and the praise the Lord, everybody. Even though you be scared, let's give him some praise.
Right. All those things, giving honor to God.
Yeah.
I went to a Kojic event, and they just had such a long list of things, and I didn't come from there, so I was so scared, and I said, I want to give honor to all those who have honor due to them, please, because I couldn't get through the whole list. And I said, I'm so sorry.
I know all about it.
But she was right. You were
I know,
right.
Yeah. I know all about it. It's
scary though, especially if you're not coaching and you have to get up and speak, and you don't want to leave anybody out.
Yep.
But I couldn't get through all the first jurisdiction and all that. But I couldn't. But I am so excited about Bishop Drew Sheard.
Yes.
Isn't that something?
So what do you think about all that?
I'm excited. It's thank God for Bishop Blake and everyone who's come before him. And thank God for all the work that they do. But just seeing this, it makes me excited for them as a family, as a just I can say too, because personally I met Bishop Sheard when I did the Dorinda show in 28. Well, the first time I did the Dorinda show was 2017. So her show was on a Monday. That Sunday night he allowed me to come and sing, and
Oh,
just
okay.
super encouraging, like as a leader, and
Yes.
definitely like within the first part of me starting my solo, he was standing up and supporting. Like you don't see
Oh
that
yeah, they
often
are
where
wonderful people.
yeah, just as a person. And then we ended up at the same place for dinner. He came to the same restaurant we were eating at. So then he came over to the table and was like, "Young lady, you were awesome. Just
Oh,
super
that is
nice."
so cool.
And
Yeah.
so from there, I just felt like, man, I would love to see him be in that, because he was a people's person. He spoke to
Yeah.
everybody at our table, just very kind, courteous, and paid for everyone's meal. Just a nice person and who
Yeah.
loved the
Yeah.
Lord, and definitely loves his family. So,
Yes.
I mean,
And of
hey,
course,
you
he's
you
married to Karen Clark
Yeah.
Sheard and the brother-in-law of, well, they're all my girls, but my
right?
special girl is Dorinda Clark Cole. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But it's
of
interesting
course.
that they selected a youthful presiding
Yeah,
bishop, at this
absolutely.
this time to kind of lead them forward. And this is a transitional time for the church, and
Yeah,
at least they have the foresight to bring someone that has a vision and can lead
yeah.
them forward.
But
And
Lena,
he's still connected to the elderly as well as the youth. Like I feel like
Yes,
yes, yeah,
that's what
he
he has
can
that
do a good
bridge.
thing as far as, yeah, making them meet halfway, where, because now it's a lot of people that probably weren't considering coming to the meetings or even viewing them, that are like, oh, Bishop Sheard is there, I want
yeah,
to,
yeah,
because they might not feel as judged if they come a certain way, or if they,
yeah. But
dress.
Bishop Blake was great too, and of course we're from
Yeah,
LA, so we got to give our shout outs to him.
yes, he
But
was.
but tell us, I was looking at some of your bio and talking about, and your mom reminds me in the teaching and the training a little bit of Dr. Mighty Moss Clark. Tell me about your mother and just the training and the singing you had to do and all
Well,
that.
she worked you, boy.
Yeah. Hi, Mom, if you watching, because sometimes she'll be on these things, yeah,
Oh,
or she might
sister.
watch later. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I do have to give a lot of credit to my mom, because, yeah, as you see, I have two. If those who don't know, I have two younger sisters, so we all had to be in that living room by her at the piano. We had things to do, and sometimes Black people, we procrastinate and wait until the actual like day before the event, and she like, get in here so we can rehearse this stuff, and whereas it's like we've known about it for months, why we just rehearsing, just but
Yeah.
it was a lot of moments like that. And then being that I'm the silly one that I am, a lot of times I would break my mom and make her laugh while she's trying to teach us and do things, and she would always want to whoop me, because I was always, the one. She told a story about me putting on, for whatever reason, we had these baby shoes in this suitcase. I don't know if somebody donated them to us or whatever. So one time, the way our living room was shaped, she was working with my two younger sisters, teaching them their parts or whatever, and I'm in the corner with the baby shoes on, like dancing and trying to make them laugh. And so they can't focus. So she turns around, I guess, to say like, Lena, and she looked down. That just broke the whole rehearsal. So so she started off like a Maddie Moss, but then she softens up when I do something funny but definitely, like, it became a passion as I got older, and I didn't need my mom to tell us to rehearse anymore. We would just, bust out in rehearsal in the middle of watching TV, or just being inspired by something else happening, some other little song come on, and we would harmonize with it. So as a kid, yes, she was really like, do this. But I'm glad that my mom, I don't want to say forced us, because it wasn't that, bad, as
Okay.
far as like she wasn't waking us up like the movie and come in
Yeah.
here. I heard the song in the spirit. It wasn't like she didn't get us that way. But as
Yeah.
far as like being at church and making us do things, if the choir wasn't always present, we had to, because it was my granddad's church, and then she's the minister of music. So if somebody didn't show up for her musical, we had to fill in, just things like that, where you really got to exercise your gift and get more comfortable with it, so that you can you know be comfortable when you go other places. So shout out to you, Mom.
Yes,
But what
yes.
happened all of a sudden? I mean, I heard the name and then I really started hearing a lot, and I'm understanding that. What was it, Lena? What was it? What was that moment that's now breaking?
It's been a couple of things, I think. Like one of my rehearsal videos, I was singing Love by Music Soul Child and for Kevin Moore in our area. He's a saxophonist. So that was one of, like, I would say, my first videos. And a lot of people, the way I had my phone, I was kind of sitting this way. So people thought I was playing for myself just because I was singing it. Like, but I was actually just looking at the lyrics on the music stand and leaning in. So people were like, I remember when that clip started like circulate, I got so many DMs like, "Oh, you killing on the keyboard and the vocals." I'm like, "Oh, I don't play. I just play tambourine in my hands. I don't." So that was like one of the things, and even that got like me a lot of invitations and views, and to do those like open mic night, like those
Okay.
poetry cafe things that church would have. I started doing things like that. Then fast forward to when they would do different tributes and stuff in my area, and people would come from out of town. Different people were recording, and I did Be Grateful at one of the tributes that was to Lynette Hawkins and Kurt Carr. That was another kickoff to just different people, seeing me and inviting me to different events. One video I saw, it reached like over 350K views, like really, really quick. So I was just like, wow, like I would wake up and my manager would be like, "Lena, you just got so-and-so wants you to come." It was really like literally happening like that. Fast forward to meeting Warren and Erica. There was a clip of me singing at Axel Gospel in Oakland, and I just did this run at the end of a song at it was like a closeout of the choir workshop thing. And so they were singing this song, "I will lift up your name higher." And so when I got called by my good friend Steve Lawrence, I was just attending in the audience. He was like, "Lena, come here." So he calls me up. I run up there and go tag the end of the song. So I did this run where I did it 3 times, and somebody made a clip of
Can
that.
you give us a little bit of that run?
So they were saying, "Higher," the choir, "high," and I was going, "Higher, higher, higher." So I'm doing it faster than what it was, but then people were making like, "Oh my God, she did it 3 times and landed it and stayed on key and da 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 da." So what jokingly started out, it started like really circulating. The shout out to Jermaine Dolly. He was one of the ones who made the first videos of like, "Lena Byrd Miles, you're not gonna sing that run 3 times and land it." Like, so that was another viral clip. And then that's the clip I want to say that Warren Campbell and Charles Jenkins, they reached out to me at the same time, but they're family. So when I talked to Charles Jenkins over the phone, I was like, "I just got off the phone with Warren Campbell." He was like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna step away." He was like, "Sis, that's my brother." He was like, if I know what I know, he's gonna want to sign you. So what I had to ask you is no longer a concern. Just Godspeed on everything. I'm super excited to meet you. Thanks for calling me back. He reached out to me via Instagram just like Warren Campbell did, while me and my husband was in LA. And what happened with that, I just posted a picture of food, and Warren Campbell saw it and was like, "Lena's out here. She's at Roscoe's." And he said the fat man inside of him knew where I was.
I mean, it's like God was just working with you through social media. So you guys, you should be encouraged. If you have a gift, look what Lena's done. It's not like she just got up and started singing. She's been working at her craft. But social media is what has really brought you to this next phase.
And make your pages public, guys. If your page is private and you want people to see what you do, make your page a public page. Like, it's no good in posting these talented things that you're doing and people can't, because sometimes people don't always want to follow. They want to see how you live first, how you operate, who you're connected to. And they look at all that. Like, I didn't know that Warren Campbell was watching, and then that he would see a plate of my chicken and greens and reach out to me. Because I didn't know that he was even following my journey like that. So we just never know,
That is such a good point. I've had calls like that. As we had a call we'll talk about later like that just before we got on the phone with you, because we do these dances sometimes, and I don't know, people are just enjoy it. You just never know. So that's so exciting how you've been able to build through social networking. But I want to go back to, I'm going into the Vicky being messy part of my situation. And so you're a hairstylist and you're always looking gorgeous.
Thank you. You too.
I want to know what you think. about Monique talking about sisters wearing hair bonnets and this whole thing about our appearance. We're questioning about our appearance is different, so I don't want to conflate the two. But even in restaurants now, they're questioning the way we look. By we, I'm saying Black people. They don't want men in white T-shirts. They don't want this whole bonnet thing has become a big.
Yeah.
What do you think about all of this? And even at church, sometimes, I mean, now I look at things and I'm like, I'm wearing the pants and all that, but girl, you're looking like Cardi B up in here.
Well, yes, I would say thanks be to God that I have. Not saying that people don't have certain people to guide them in certain things, but I do feel that I guess I might have to side with Sister Monique on to a certain degree. I do feel we should be presentable when we're anywhere. That's just anything we do. Because if I'm going somewhere, I wouldn't even want my server to have a bonnet over me at Chipotle fixing stuff. I would feel some type of way, like, I don't know how clean. If you just woke up and came to Chipotle and made my food, I would be saying more than grace over it. So I wouldn't. Because that means you haven't bathed, you haven't, you just because that's what it gives the illusion of. Your bonnet is on, you ain't cleaned your eyes, you ain't brushed your teeth, tongue, top of your mouth, deodorant hit the hot spots. I would just feel some type of way. So, and we got this whole thing going on with COVID, so everything is about being as clean as possible right now. Why? And then just for what people who, most people who do anything with work related, you have to deal with people. Why not be concerned with putting your best forward in how you look, your appearance, your hair? Like we want to look our best on the gram. Why not in the in between times? Why just? I think you should go the extra mile. Now, I'm not saying that people have to. That's everybody. That's why God gave us all free will. Even with salvation, He gives us a right to choose. But as for Lena and her house, let's just say you won't catch her out in her bonnet. We'll just say
That's right.
you won't. I still, at 40 years old, I have a mother who's alive, a grandmother who's alive, and I know I'd be snatched like, have you lost your mom? You lost your you out here in your bonnet? I told you. So as for me and my house, we will do what we have to do to look right as best as possible. Now, certain days, unless it's an emergency and you get called and come to the hospital and you just in your bonnet now that, but just to aim and purposely be out in my bonnet, that's not my style. And I'm one of those people that Clorox and wipes all the trays, Lysol, and so just knowing that bonnet has been to several cities before it got to this seat that I'm finna sit in and ride for 6 hours to my next destination. I feel some type of way,
I had to rush for something my mother was doing, and I had to get on the plane because I've been like, no planes. This is 2 weeks ago. And I saw a group of young women in dirty pajamas, dirty house shoes, and the bonnet. And you don't know how I was praying, saying, Lord, please don't let me say anything. Shut your big mouth, because I just want to tell them, is your self-esteem low?
Yeah, and everybody's not receptive because they haven't been brought up. That's why I said it's a blessing too. And I don't want to just say people don't have certain things, but we all weren't brought up to even think the same, because there's so many on the opposing end saying, ain't nothing wrong with me wearing my bonnet. I'm going to keep wearing it. So, hey, but, me looking like this gets me the opportunities that it gets me. So if it ain't broke.
That's right. And look at all the views you're getting. It's also because you're beautiful, and I'm loving the natural hair.
Thank you. Yeah, but I mean, all of it comes together. If you only are trying to get certain things in certain places in life, you do have to go the extra route. And that's if you want to eat at certain restaurants, you can't. I guess wear your white tee. Sorry, guys. I'm not totally for it, because there's sometimes you can look nice in a white tee and a blazer. It's just
But they use that a lot to profile.
Yeah.
Black. So if they find out that bonnets are in or white T-shirts are in for blacks, then they put it in the dress code as a way to filter.
Yeah,
and
I'm
to
not
have
for
a
that.
reason not to have you come in.
I'm not for that.
It's
And
just
when it comes to that.
So my thing is, go ahead, work out the bonnet thing, but just don't wear it because then they can't profile you at the restaurants.
Yep, yep. But then you got our, we can open our own and wear our tees
Well,
there.
that's
So
right. That's
That's
you
right.
right.
won't let us eat here. We good
You
at
gotta
tasting
do.
something. I got aunties, uncles, all of that can taste it and be like, "What's that? Oh, I'm gonna go whip that up." So you open your
Exactly.
own restaurant where you can wear your white
That's right.
tee, and
Right. If
Wear,
that's
wear
what
your
you're
bonnet
about.
if you're about to buy
If
it. You can
that's
wear
what
your
you're
bonnet.
about. But I do think that there's a level of
yeah,
self-esteem that we need to have, and just basic grooming. So I don't know.
yeah,
But
proper etiquette, just proper etiquette on going out in public. And I know they used to have like charm schools and all, all of
yes,
that. We don't see too much of that anymore.
anymore.
So
No, but we might need to try to bring it back, or maybe
Yeah, definitely.
somebody
For
could
young
put it
men,
on.
for not just for women, I think for young men is
yeah,
good
Yeah,
too.
the culture just doesn't have it. And the emphasis is on different things. Like, I
yeah,
mean, Birkin bags and making enough money to for you to appear a certain way. So
yeah,
there's either it's the extremes or what I think we're seeing as a culture because people are hurting and have
yeah,
experienced a lot of loss. And so it's
Mhm.
just kind of like, if I don't have it, I don't have it. But if I do, I'm going to give you the total
Mhm.
extreme. There's no like
In
in
between.
between.
between with our
Yeah,
culture right now.
consistency,
You're
and
right. That's a very good point.
yeah, it's more
Very good
about
Mhm.
point.
how you present.
Thank you.
Mhm. But
Yeah.
I just want to add one thing. Well, maybe we might go there, but during this past COVID time, this whole past year, you know, uh, were you working on your music? I mean, what was going on? What was going on during that year? Y'all were churching.
Yes, absolutely. Thank God for even the ministries that allow me to do things
This
virtually.
virtually, yes.
Yeah, I did do. I want to say the first church I went to was in Nashville in June of last year, where I went to an in-person
Oh,
service. Greater Harvest. Shout out
Rita
to Pastor
Hart-
Eric Stevenson. They were definitely on the money with making sure they was like, you got your own mic. Nobody else has touched this mic. We've Lysol it. You sitting on your own pew by yourself. Like
That's
literally, and
great.
they got me in to do what I needed to do and took me, when I say straight to the airport to get back home. Like they weren't playing with just all the sanitary being
Wow, that's great.
sanitation wise. They were so serious and took all of that. So that was one of the churches that I remember going to outside of doing everything virtually with my good friend Dave Jackson. He was helping me because I'm a dinosaur when it comes to filming and all of that and making sure so I went to his studio, and that's how we started doing the virtual things, because a lot of the conferences that people had pre-deposited and paid me for had to
Oh,
be canceled. So I had to figure out another method in getting them their things. They Once they figured out to do things virtually, certain revivals, all of that type of stuff, that really helped too with my, and also with my following. Like people were like, oh, who is this person?
it's like,
And
how many followers do you have now?
now I am at 92.5K as of today. I
Wow,
mean,
Wow.
wow. That's
all
no
Jesus.
joke. That's no joke, girl.
Yeah,
That is
That is no joke.
just being
yeah,
Congratulations.
just being
Yeah.
silly and singing.
yeah. Because they say you're also a comedian now, girl. Why? People are saying it right now too that you're such a comedian.
You're a comedian.
Well,
Everybody says it.
What's up with that?
my family just loves to laugh. I don't know, from birth. Like my parents have videos of me as a little baby, like a 1 year old toddler, just being silly, goofy. I don't know, but both my parents are comedians within their own right. Like we've always found ways of to laugh, and I guess it's just because it's in my bones. I don't know how to be anything else now with the memes and stuff. I just post that and post videos because I guess my husband always says, like, you just always want people around you happy, like you like making them. And I do.
That's
I
a
get
gift.
That's a gift.
because you never know. And even in certain down times that I've had, I've posted stuff that was funny because I'm like, I need to laugh. It's been a rough day.
Yeah.
Or like I've actually had clients while doing here. One of my clients, I was the first person she came back after her diagnosis with cancer, and she came back to the salon And she was like, I want you to pray with me before I go home and tell my kids that I won't even
Oh,
live. Her baby son, she had two grown children, and she had a baby son who was just starting his freshman year of high school. And she was like, I won't even live to see him graduate because the doctors are saying I have months to live. So I would
oh,
get things like that, and then go home and be looking for my pots to make my rice and be like, why am I crying and why, like, but it was be just taking on the things of the day with your clients. Because as a hairstylist,
yes,
your clients look to you and they vent and they release and they do all of
Mm-hmm.
that. And not necessarily in confidence, but I'm not a runner of the mouth type person. So I don't just
right.
be calling somebody, guess what, girl, so and so got this. I don't have that in me. So I release in other ways. My humor is one of the ways I release and get kind of refueled to go back the next day and try to deal with the next set of clients and their issues, or
Yeah,
certain
I
things
guess
like that.
so.
Yeah.
And I even had a follower on Instagram who said when their sister was like in a car accident, he came to my page to laugh. And I want to say the sister might have even passed away, but just to know that comic relief was relief in a devastating time. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm going to keep posting my funnies. I don't know why God has
Yes.
me do it when he does, but look what it
Yes.
does for
It
people. You
blesses
just,
people.
Yeah.
It blesses
Yeah.
people.
Well,
Well,
I
honor
heard.
your gift.
Yeah, that's a blessing. Thank God. We
Yes.
need people like you that aren't sour pusses and can
yes,
cause
you can laugh and still love the Lord. You don't have to be
yes,
super.
because some church folks, not all, but some, the ladies who won't let you sit in their seats, they got special seats, but you don't know nothing about it, girl. You sit in their seats, there
Oh
is
boy.
going to be a problem. Those church sisters drive me crazy.
There's an invisible name written there, huh? Only they
That's
can
right.
see it. We can't see it. Wait,
You in
what,
my
lady?
seat? I'm
God
like,
will still hit you over there too. I'm just
That's
right,
right.
okay.
right. Golly. But girl, what's up with this skating? You're a roller
Oh,
skater?
I love roller skating. Even all the times that I've scrubbed, I still, I still, because as a kid I would scrub all the time, skating outside, and it's
That's
it's
part of his
it's a
breath.
blessing that I still have knees that and cartilage and all that good stuff with the scrubbing. And even as an adult, I'm still falling. I tried to skate with my husband one time, hand in hand. We at the skating rink, and he's not as good of a skater, so he was trying to warn me. He was like, "I haven't
Yeah.
skated in a long time," and I'm like, "Let's do country skate." And we get out there. We done shut the whole thing down where they had to end the song because of me trying to skate backwards and like hold on to him a certain way. Our skates kind of interlocked the wheels. So we stuck together and couldn't get, we just had to fall together. That's kind of how.
That's
So,
So
yes.
you
hilarious.
And they
roll
were,
together, you fall together. That's how we do it.
and let's just say he hasn't been skating with me since. That was years ago.
And he won't go. But girl, I was laughing because I saw on YouTube your husband explaining how the two of you got together. I'm
Oh
like, I
man.
don't know how y'all got married because it was like your parents weren't letting nobody get around you. So, I mean, how in the world did the
He
two of you get together?
he was
Please tell me.
detailed.
But
He was
yeah,
detailed. He told this story, and 15 minutes, 20 minutes later, he was just getting around to.
He still hadn't talked to you
Yeah,
yet.
he
yeah, he didn't
wasn't.
have a,
Right.
as they
Yeah,
say,
just got around to.
as they say in church, I don't have enough time to tell it, huh? I don't have enough time.
Oh
Yeah.
boy, he took
My
the time
mom,
to tell
well,
it.
as you guys, you know that when you come from like a strict Kojic upbringing, sometimes it's a difference in, well, a lot of Kojic parents didn't really want their Kojic kids mingling with other denominations like that, or just,
Oh, that's
and I
interesting.
think too, more so than that, I was just that Toby was the first time I took real interest in a guy. So just my mom seeing like, oh, she's really serious and likes this guy, and why is she such an advocate for him? Like, can I just go to the thing? Can we just go to a musical? Can we just, why can't I? So just seeing that I have to accept that my oldest daughter is wanting to date because I was 17 when I met him. So
Okay.
Oh
high
yeah.
school, I'm like end of junior year when I met him, junior year of high school, going into my senior year, and just all head over heels for this guy. So she's like, what's so good about him? Why you want to? Yeah, when I was,
Funny.
was
daddies
just,
too, I guess.
well, yeah. And then they didn't know, back in their time, their parents knew one another when they would date and stuff like that. But
Right.
my family didn't know because Toby came from a Baptist church that they hadn't knew anybody from. So my mom was actually calling around like, you ever heard somebody named Tobias, and he's a musician, and she's like, who is this? And my daughter just, she's just all
The
gung ho
background
for this
check.
guy. Yeah, but in pursuit of me, I didn't know he was checking me out and coming to
Oh,
churches and services and watching me all that time,
he was
Deep
checking you
details.
out. He was scoping. He said, "Man, where's she gonna be next?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, "This dude."
It's serious.
I said, "This is how a man's supposed to
Yeah.
go after a lady." This
Yeah,
is
he
this
was
is how
pursuing
he was
you.
pursuit.
Yeah, and
He
trying
was
to
in
impress.
deep pursuit.
He was impressing all the wrong people because everybody he was trying to be super deep with wasn't even related to me. He went to one of the deacons and they said, "How you doing, Toby?" He said, "Blessed and highly favored. I love
That's
God."
what I did.
He was trying to win so bad. I said,
He
"That
said,
wasn't even my daddy. You talking to just the deacon at the door."
yeah, he said,
He
"You
went
love
out and
those
brought a
people."
briefcase because he wanted to look important. He wanted to look
Yes, he
sophisticated.
did. He did.
And he was like, I didn't have
And
nothing.
what did he put in the briefcase? I said, he said he put, what did he put in the
Socks.
briefcase? Socks. I said, where? I said, how's that gonna, nobody's gonna open that briefcase. He said he
To
loved
carry
three
it.
things. He
I
loved
just want to
three
carry it and look like I'm doing something. But here we are, 20-something years. That was 1999 when we met.
You've been married 20 years now. Oh, that's great.
Well, we've been
No,
together.
no.
We got married in 2006 because it still was a long journey. My parents,
Yeah.
I still had to sneak on a couple dates. Sorry.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
1999 is that senior year. Would have been senior year, right?
Right.
Yep. Well, I graduated in 2000.
Right.
Well, I
you-
graduated in 2000, so I started. I met him at the convocation Kojic. He came to. That's the other thing. Toby would come to Kojic events even though he wasn't Kojic. So
So you know he's serious.
He was very
He was serious.
he was at the convocation when I met him at a hotel, and he'll tell the story that I was selling these cookies because I was trying to go
He
to
bought 'em
the
all.
AIM convention, and he bought them all. I only had like maybe 17 cookies that I was selling like $1. They was real gigantic. Some
But
idea
girl, were
that I
they
got from
burnt?
one of my
He
cousins.
said they were burnt. Were they really burnt?
Well, you see, he's still here eating cookies with me, so they wasn't too burnt. Now maybe they might have been a little Cajun. They might have been a little.
I have a question.
Okay.
When did you realize that? Oh, I think he likes me. Was it immediate or did it take some time where you're just like, okay, he keeps popping up. What's going on?
Well, the story, because, okay, I have two other cousins, and so guys would come to our church all the time, our grandparents' church all the time, and sit in the back. So I really thought he was coming out of just like liking one of them. I really honestly didn't think he liked me. But at another musical where he showed up, he took the opportunity to talk to me. He still didn't ask for my number that day, but he came outside when I was in the foyer, and he was like, "Do you give singing lessons?" That was the line.
No, he didn't say that. He didn't say that.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Kept some of the tools in his pocket.
Yeah, he didn't tell
What
everything.
did you say next?
But no, this is what's funny. This is where all the swag left, because while he's out talking to me, he was, you know how you got your hands in your pockets and you talking, I guess he was a little nervous. He had all this loose change, and when he did something, all this loose change went to flying. So I'm picking up quarters and nickels like, yeah, I go to so-and-so church, not knowing he already knew. Like, I sing with we just picking up change together. I sing with my two sisters and my mama. We here for this musical, da da da. That's how we just.
This
so
is
by
like
this
a
time,
TV show.
yes, literally. By this time is where my mom comes out, and I guess his next thing was finna be, "Can I have your number?" But my mom came and she said, "Lena, let's go."
Block that. She blocked that.
This is literally like a scene from a movie.
She blocked the whole.
Oh man, I didn't get the number again.
So that's when that was like a May. So that June, that was May of the same year. Like he was like, man, I didn't get to ask her. So June is when convocation will roll around. So what happened was, I got to shout out my cousin Tisha and my friend Leonard. They saw each other at a rehearsal. So Leonard went up to Tisha and was like, my boy Toby really likes Lena. And he was like, this is his numbers. He know that her mama don't play. So give Give his number to
Shout out
her,
to the
and
team.
she can call. So I called and was like, "Hi, I'll be at convocation on such and such night. I heard that you like me." It's so funny. It's so funny. The 17-year-old me is like just all, and it was while my mom. So what he also didn't say, while I was selling cookies, my mom would sell peach cobbler. So we at the church, literally my granddad's church, and my mom is making her peach cobblers by the thing, but just by the dozens, just making them. And I'm in the office that we had, and it was a whole nother phone, and I'm just quietly, "Hi, I heard that you wanted to speak with me. I'll be at church tonight. I'll be wearing green, da 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 da."
Yes.
So you can find me. And so he came that night. That's literally how all of it started in June of '99.
That's
This
funny.
literally, thank you. I saw everything perfectly. Like I was watching it on Netflix.
That's so
Oh,
funny.
I hope I painted the picture right.
You did. It was
It's so
perfect.
cute.
Thank you.
Well, girl, let's get back to the music a little bit, because we want to make sure people know, for those who don't know you, and also for those that do, that you're on my block with Warren Campbell, and you've got one single out, two singles. What's going on with that now?
2 singles out. The first one is "This Is the Day," which was released 2019, and then the latest is "Watch Me," that was released May 21st, 2020. So yeah, just 2 singles, and then we hope the album will be released in a few months. So
Yeah,
just
man,
bear with
trying
us.
to get everything hot.
Yeah.
That's why, that's why we do that a lot of times, just to make sure everything's up. But with you having so many followers, it should do well. And I know our folks are going to get in there and help you out. Now,
Thank you.
we wanted to hear, what song do you want to just sing a cappella for us a little bit? Because we want to hear it.
Sure, I'll sing a little bit of "Watch Me."
Okay.
We all getting ready.
We can't wait.
Okay. And it's talking about watching God work, saying, don't trip over what, things look like. God is still at work, and we can still prosper in a pandemic, in, whatever season we're in. To not be discouraged. Still, stand back, stand still, and watch God work everything out that is going on. So let me get right into it. The verse says, "Just like the
Take your
time
time.
I opened up the sea, watch me, watch me." Or like David and the giant, what a victory. Just like that, watch me, watch me. Stay right where you are, and I will do great things. Stand still and watch me, watch me. Because I'm able to do more than you could ask or think. My child, watch me. Oh, just watch me. And one of my favorite lines says, "I heard you when you cried out to me. I saw you when you fell to your knees. I still have the power to fix anything. Just watch me. Just watch me."
Oh,
beautiful.
Wow.
that
Thank you.
is so
Wow, I love that song.
Thank you.
I feel like we've made a new friend.
Yeah.
We're going
Absolutely.
to continue to
Absolutely.
support. We're going to encourage everybody. We want to help you get all the way up to so you're almost close to what, 1 million?
100K.
I mean, 100K.
That was a prophetic word.
Yeah,
That was a prophetic word.
To 100K. I get
I receive it. I receive it.
Oh, people keep saying that you and I favor a little. I'll take
Hey.
that.
Hey.
I'll take that. I guess probably from the same tribe, right?
Mm-hmm. It's that Bay Area melanin, huh?
That's right. Melanin, but I heard you have freckles.
I do.
Yeah.
They a little covered up today. Okay.
I ain't got no freckles, girl.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have
So
freckles.
cool.
But I know you have to go to another interview, so we didn't want to keep you too long.
But really, I really enjoyed you.
Yeah.
Beautiful
Likewise.
voice.
Thank
Beautiful
you.
spirit.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
I'm
Likewise.
excited.
I enjoyed my
Excited.
time.
Yeah, you have contagious joy.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you.
really do.
Really
Thank
So,
you. Thanks for having me. Like, you guys don't even know what this feels like. So
oh,
we
well,
enjoy
thank
we're
you.
just excited
We're
for
saying
you.
thank you.
God bless you, and we'll have to have a longer conversation later on
Absolutely.
when the record comes out.
Yeah,
I
please.
love to. I love to come back.
Come back and listen, Dorinda. If she's got something going on, she'll come up or she'll call through Nikki and try and say,
Oh,
I need to be on your show for a few minutes because I need to talk to the people. So you can feel free to do the same, and
yeah.
we'll have you on. Just if it's for a few seconds, because we
Sure.
just want to get out there and support you.
Yes.
Thank
Let us know
you.
when you're in town.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
you guys have my number too, so we family now. You stuck
Yeah,
with
that's
me.
right.
You
That's
stuck
right.
with me.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. I love you guys.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hello.
What's
Thank
up?
you so much for watching Carfitable
Yes,
Talks.
thank you.
Please remember to press that like button, and we need you to subscribe. And also,
Leave some comments. Really need to hear from you.
thank you.